Okay. Welcome everyone to the Don't Disguise podcast. We're here for another Sunday conversation. Today we have Jacob Steele in for a good old chat.
Hello.
Yeah, he's a ground worker from Northampton. Currently in and out dabbling in music. He's also involved in some gaming here and there, some streaming. So hopefully we get a good insight into his day-to-day life and how he gets on and stuff. So without further ado, just introduce you Jacob Shaky Jake Steele. How are you doing?
I'm okay, mate. Thank you. How about yourself?
Yeah, yeah, I'm all good.
Good.
People don't usually ask me, but I was a
Do they
bit
not?
shocked and taken back by that. But yeah, no, no, actually, coming to think of it, no, I'm all right, mate. Yeah, I'm all right, plodding along, aren't we? So
Yes.
it is currently Sunday. So tell me what your week looked like.
My
Let's kick
last
it off that way.
my week just currently. I've been working in different places. Was over in Glenvale, Wellingborough for a few days, finishing off the block paving road. It was my last week
Oh, nice.
working at this firm that I was at because I've got a new job starting on Monday. So I've just been at different
Oh,
building
okay.
sites throughout last week, finishing off roads and doing other
Oh,
bits.
nice. Is that just locally then, or is that do you go nationwide kind of thing?
The furthest he usually sends us is only about an hour and 10 is the max really. So it's not too bad, especially like
Oh,
driving and
okay.
picking people up in the morning and stuff, getting up a little bit earlier. It's not too bad if we've only got to
Oh,
go an
yeah.
hour or 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Nice. Okay. So yeah. Obviously, the biggest question in the room is usually how are you? Obviously, we've asked how
Mm.
are you in a generalized, but how are you coping with life at the minute?
I'm okay. I'm coping. I'm certainly finding my feet more now a little bit. Like I've moved into this new
Okay.
place and I've been here since last November. And it feels like I was settled in like fairly quickly, but like with the money situation with things prices increasing and stuff,
Hmm.
it has been difficult this year. I've probably
Yeah.
been the skintiest this year than I've been in a good few years. So
Yeah. Really. Is that
but I
because
am
of
slowly
the
get back into the swing of things now.
Hmm. I think it takes a while to bounce back, though, isn't it? Obviously, with the circumstances happening for the past couple years with
Mm,
COVID and then returning to work and stuff, I think it's been quite difficult for financially, anyway, to be able to bounce back, and find your feet again. But now, by the time you find your feet, we're in a financial crisis at the minute. So
mhm.
the living wage is just terrible compared to the everything else. So it is quite difficult, but. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's good to hear. Obviously, you are bouncing back and finding your feet again, getting yourself back out there. So tell me a
Mhm.
little bit about your work, though. So, how dedicated and committed do you have to be for that kind of line of work? So obviously, you're working in ground working, so that must put quite a stress on you mentally and physically.
Yeah, I would say that general groundworks. What I was working over at a site in Upton, not too last summer. It was basically up
Okay.
until Christmas time, and that was all right. That was pretty
Okay.
sound. Like there was obviously stressful days where like things needed to get done, and sometimes you'd have to stay a bit late or
Yeah.
whatever. But when the block paving as
Okay. Yeah.
such, like that is quite stressful. I found it's like if like you don't get a good start very early in the morning, say if you haven't got all of the supplies right
Yeah.
there at your fingertips by
Yeah.
like 8 o'clock, then the day can really
It
drag
set
on.
you
So
back. And
people get stressed,
yeah.
like people get annoyed at the fact that they're having to stay later because of the fact that we're waiting around in the
Oh, of
mornings,
course. Yeah.
and everyone gets
And is
like,
that beyond your control though?
yeah, it is. But I try not to get stressed about that stuff. But when you see the other lads get stressed about
Mm.
like things that we can't really control, or say if the forklift
Yeah.
driver's got what five other things to sort out way before us, then people get a bit funny about that kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Which
Yeah.
I can
Well, I can
understand. I
understand.
can
Like,
understand
yeah.
it, but
Mm.
yeah. I can understand why the frustration is there, because obviously if we can't just get on, then it's a late
Yeah.
one, and you don't get as much done,
Yeah.
and it's a later one. Like,
Does it carry over to the next day then? You have to pick up obviously where you left off, and then obviously the
yeah,
more work you leave, the more you're gonna have to do the next day kind of thing.
yeah, exactly that. And if you're working on
Yeah.
like price work, then you're doing by the square meter, and you get paid per the square meter. Then there's a lot
Oh,
more
okay.
stress when it comes to putting money in the van for the fuel. And so if you've gone there and you
Yeah.
spent 40 quid
Yeah.
on fuel and it pisses it down with rain and you can't do anything, it can get
Yeah, of
very back and
course.
forth. So to the point where I've actually walked
Mm,
away with earning like 30, 40 pounds that day, and I'm soaked
really?
through and it's 2 o'clock.
Oh my god. See, because from looking at it from an outsider, I'd say it's kind of a blessing when you get rained off, kind of thing. You think, oh yeah, I don't have to work today. But being obviously self-employment, it means you're not getting paid, are you? You can have days where you go, throughout a couple of days of not being paid. So how do you kind
Mhm.
of try and financially balance yourself through them kind of situations?
Um, well, I do some DJing at the side anyway. Like I'm doing birthdays and weddings and stuff. So there's a quick 150 every time I
Oh
do
yeah.
it, basically. So that can definitely
Mm,
help. Or say if it's raining on Tuesday, but the rest of the week has been fine. But there's an opportunity to
yeah.
work Saturday, then you could make it up on the Saturday.
Oh yeah, of
Like you
course, yeah,
can kind of
yeah.
choose
Oh,
a little
nice.
bit. There is a bit of freedom there,
Yeah,
like with
yeah,
that kind of aspect.
yeah. I could see. What kind of pressures are you put under though? Like, do you have any kind of target or deadlines, or is it just purely for your self satisfaction, like to get that day's job done? Kind of, is there kind of extra or kind of when you set out for the day, have you got one task to fulfill that day, kind of thing? If you know what I mean?
Well, it all depends, like on say if we're starting a road and it's 500 meters in the road, it's entirely up
Yeah,
to you what you do each day, provided it's done by said time. So
yeah.
if you wanted to only do a small amount today, but then bring in a couple of extra lads to give you a hand tomorrow and do triple the amount
Oh, okay.
and earn
Yeah,
your money that
yeah.
way and get a better day. But then again, you could bring four lads to work and it could rain, and then you're really out of
Yeah, yeah, no,
pocket.
no, that's right. Yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah. No, it's quite interesting actually because I've never really. You always look at it from a pedestrian perspective or citizen perspective about people who work in groundworks and stuff. In that
Mm,
we have quite a layman view and quite a stigmatized view. Like everyone hates
mhm.
when there's roadworks and stuff.
Yeah,
I generally, despite me being out on the road, I work out on the road driving. So when there's any
mhm.
roadworks and stuff, it is an inconvenience. But how
But
do you how do
you
you
love
deal
your
with that?
fiber.
Like, yeah, yeah, no,
Like
that's it,
you love
that's
the
it.
fiber that comes with doing the roadworks in the villages and stuff. Like, so I
Yeah.
remember when I was doing I was working with a dig gang that was putting fiber in like the gigaclear stuff in all the rural villages in Northamptonshire. And
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
obviously
Yeah.
everyone's looking at you like, we don't need that fast internet, and it was like, well, no,
Yeah.
it's fine. It's kind of for the future generations as well. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. No, but people would complain about, like me myself included, complain about roadworks and stuff. But once it's completed or whatever, we'd always find there's always an issue. Say with people fixing the traffic lights or something like that, we're complaining because they're fixing the traffic lights, but we complained because they were broken or something like
yeah,
that. There's
yeah.
always we always find an issue with things and complain about things. I think we're just a society that likes to complain about the small things,
Mhm.
kind of thing. But how do
Or
you
it,
separate yourself from these work stresses, and when you get home, have you got a way to kind of detox from that, and a way to kind of calm yourself down out of,
it's funny how you
to
say
separate
detox.
it? Ah,
It's
well,
kind of
yeah,
like to
yeah,
detox away from that. If I'm honest, I smoke a bit of weed. Like that's so it kind of like helps when it comes
yeah.
to say if I'm very stressed and I've come home from work and there's the whole like work cloud there about what's going on tomorrow, stresses or
Mm,
arguments throughout the day or anything like that, then that kind of helps me to switch off and be like, well, what was I so mad about to start with?
Yeah.
And I've had some food now, and I'm kind of chilled watching, doing what I'm doing. But the one thing I find that it's like everyone's in such a rush to get home to do
Mm.
nothing.
Yeah, no, that is
Like,
exactly it. That is
like,
exactly right. Like, it's just
and I
surprising you
feel that
said
way as
that.
well.
Yeah, because I had the conversation with someone I work with the other day about this. I was like, we're always in a rush to do nothing. Exactly what you said. Like to get home and just be in another ball of stress about something at home anyway. Like I do think as you get older, you kind of appreciate being out and being active a bit more than you know. I don't know. Like I find, I don't know if it's because I've got kids and stuff. Like coming home, sometimes it's better to
Possibly.
be out of the house than it is in the house. You know. But
See,
yeah, it's all each to their own perspective kind of thing. But taking time away from the outside world is kind of key as well. So what is it you do? Have you got hobbies that keep you kind of active at home or?
yeah, yeah, like especially throughout like the isolation period, I had to kind of keep yourself occupied at home.
Mm,
So, like you say, when I've come home, then there's multiple things I could do. I could either
yeah.
watch watch a film, obviously, like play some games, uh, turn the decks on, start
Oh,
messing around with the dragon, feeding him.
yeah.
I've got a turtle over there as well. I've got just multiple entertainment things at home that I've kind of
Yeah.
accumulated over the COVID period that do kind of keep me occupied at home because I find myself, when you're doom scrolling and I'm like, no, and
Yeah.
I just
Yeah, that's it.
throwing it over to the sofa and be like, stop doing that, and
Yeah.
then do something
Yeah.
a little bit more constructive, like have a mix for 20 minutes
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
do something. But like you say, when as you've got older, you find yourself um, being more active and more outgoing.
Yeah.
As where I'm the opposite. Like I've been so
Mm.
active and outgoing throughout DJing and partying and meeting new people and raves and God knows
Yeah.
what from the age of 18 until maybe 30. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
out every single weekend that now I'm working outside every day. And when I come
Mm.
home, I don't want to go back
No,
out.
yeah, that's fair
Like,
enough. That's a fair point. I think everyone has a difference of opinions in that, and obviously it depends on what you like previously, what you like present, and what you like for the future, kind of thing. As in, if you've already been active and that kind of life, not necessarily pushing it aside, but you'll kind of want to take time away from that as well. Because if you're
mm,
working with others as well, I find this with colleagues since working from hospital transitioning from hospitality to a position where I'm by myself now, I find myself I do get a bit lonely sometimes, like because
mm,
I'm out on the road for 10 hours, and then you come home, you do want to be a bit more sociable. But with you,
mm,
it might be on the flip side because you've spent all the years being really present socially, and then you're in a line of work now where you're working amongst others as well, so you do want that downtime by yourself when you come home.
mm,
So do you, obviously you're committed to your music still, let's talk a bit more about that. Obviously I
yeah.
can see your deck still behind you, so
Hmm.
obviously you're pretty active in it for yourself. So what does it give you? What has music always given you?
Um, music, I don't know, it's always given me enjoyment ever since I was a kid. There's funny pictures of where I'm like butt naked after a shower playing the piano at the age of like 5. Like there's a picture that my mum actually gave me a load of old pictures growing up stuff, and I've got like there's like a little drum, like a singular drum there, and they had to take
Oh
it off
yeah.
me, like
Oh
like stuff like that. Like it's just I've
yeah.
always loved music growing up, like
Yeah.
even like listening to the old Run DMC, it's like that, and like
Yeah.
breakdancing as
Yeah.
well. They've obviously I was used to do a little bit of fucking street dance. Sorry, swearing too much.
No, no, no.
Used to do a bit of used to be able to do a bit of street dance and that as well growing up. So I've always been into the music, but what I don't know. I still get goosebumps sometimes when you pull off something that sounds amazing,
Oh
like
yeah. Yeah,
in
of
your own
course.
opinion, or whether
Yeah.
like people are around and they're digging what you're
Yeah,
doing. It's like,
yeah.
yeah, I do still get goosebumps for
It's that
really good like
self-reward, isn't it,
musical
as
stuff.
well? It's that,
Whether,
yeah,
yeah, whether I've done it or not, like whether
yeah,
I've like done it on the decks or I've made it on the computer or I've just listening to something that's given me the gooses, I
yeah,
still get that. I do
yeah.
still get
And that's something that you kind of hold on to as well, like and that's it's quite a rare thing now because we're in I think we're in quite a creatively a quite a stagnant kind of generation where a lot of things are processed, a lot of things are what's the word, like augmented kind of thing.
calculated.
Yeah, yeah. And I do think when you leave the little rewards or little satisfactions down to them small things like that, like finding a mix that works so well,
Mm.
and you get enjoyment and excitement out of that. That, you know, that keeps you alive, them kind of thing, and it keeps you young as well.
Yeah, yeah, it definitely keeps you young.
Yeah, but yeah. Obviously, how did when did the music come along? Obviously, you're talking about little instruments you had when you was younger, but was there something
Mhm.
that really sparked it, like especially to get the set of decks out and you know, because
um,
that's an investment when you're young, isn't it? So.
see, when see, there was like I started DJing twice, really. Like I was 13, and I remember I saved up a little bit of money, and I
Mhm.
think my stepdad at the time put in the extra. I think it was 200 quid for this set, and I'd saved up a
Okay.
hundred. I'd saved up a hundred, and he'd paid the other hundred, and then
Oh, nice.
I had no clue what I was doing. No clue. I didn't have anybody to teach me. I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
would play like I had like a 2 pack vinyl. I had some Michael Jackson vinyls that my mum gave me. I had a Fat Man Scoop vinyl, and I
Oh,
didn't know what to do. I was literally just going spin one back and
yeah.
then click play on the other one, and that was my act. Like, and it wasn't until I was like 18, 19, 18 basically, when
Yeah.
I went to a few drum and bass raves, and we went to this club, and there where the stage was, there was like, well, I'll do this like square to the camera. Where the stage was,
Mhm.
there was two staircases going up
Oh,
either
okay.
side of where the
Yeah.
stage was. So as a raver, as a like a customer as such, you could see the perspective of what the DJ could see outwards.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I was like, I
Yeah.
want a taste of that.
Yeah.
Basically, I wanted a
Yeah.
taste of that. So that's what kind of like motivated me to be like, right, we'll let's buy drum and bass
Yeah.
vinyls, and
Yeah.
then there was
Yeah.
about 3 or 4 of us that all learnt together. Like my friend Mario Carroll, like I've known him for years. He bought the decks. Where was we? I think it was at an exchange shop somewhere. I can't remember,
Oh,
but
okay.
he bought them, and we would all hang out at his like
Yeah.
just about most days after work, and all learn how to mix in his bedroom.
Oh,
And his
yeah.
decks are on top of a rabbit hutch in his room,
Yeah.
and we had all the vinyls inside the rabbit
Oh, wow. Yeah.
hutch.
But it's always good to look back at where you came from with things like that because there's always a story behind it and there's always a thrift about it as well that gets
Yeah,
you to where you are now. Like,
yeah,
um,
definitely.
yeah, no, because I always think it's just you got to have a special kind of talent to be in DJing as well because you've got to. I think you have an acute. You're not. You've got to be born with that talent. I think you can become a DJ, but not with. I don't know. I think with music, it's very different. I think
I think
it's
like anyone could learn to DJ. I think I could teach most people how to
yeah,
DJ,
yeah.
but
But
it
you've
would
got
be
to have that
entirely up to
gift from the
you.
start,
Like,
though, haven't
yeah, it'd be down to you. Like after that, what sounds good with
you?
what.
Yeah,
And if you
yeah,
can't get that down, then it's in. You know what I mean? There's
yeah,
you can pick up the skill, but have you got the rhythm?
yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah. No, that's
like
true. That's it. Yeah, vinyls. Vinyls, obviously, is that still a thing?
yeah, I'd say so, but like not as heavily now. There are
Yeah,
some people and some events and stuff that do especially like
yeah,
vinyl only events and shit. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe from when I was 20, 22, that was when the CDs was really big.
yeah,
Then it wasn't long after that that USBs were only thing, and then it's
yeah,
come
yeah,
from carrying around 50 kilos to carrying around 50 grams of
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
weight compared of music. As where, well, my USBs are always like cartoon characters, so I've got like
Oh,
little
yeah.
Bugs Bunnies.
To keep some comedic value
Right,
about
well, they got like
it.
little Daffy Ducks, and you can put the bodies and heads on and stuff. And like, I'm very
It's the little
nostalgic,
things, isn't it?
especially like with characters and stuff that I've loved growing up. I've kept
Yeah.
a lot of the characters and stuff like that. I've got like sticker bomb stuff around my flat and that I
Oh
still really
wow.
love. Like
Yeah.
all those little
So
bits and
you're very
bobs
much
that
in tune
reminds me.
with your younger self, aren't you?
Yeah, definitely. I would say so. Like I'm definitely a man child that pays my bills.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, what's your coming on off of the back of that then? What's your strength and struggle since becoming an adult? What would you honestly say that you've kind of
oh.
succeeded in doing, or what things are you struggling doing?
I don't know what it is, but even though I was 28, nearly 30, 31, I was like, I didn't feel like a man until I had a driving license.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
know how stupid that sounds, but that's how, I don't know,
But
it
it's the
felt like
pathway
that.
to independence, isn't it? And
Yeah.
once you're independent,
Yeah.
you feel like an adult, don't you?
Well, when people start talking about cars, I'm like, oh, the adults are talking.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like, I have no idea what they're talking about.
No, I
Uh,
find, yeah, when I got my license, I think I was only like, I think it was 17, and I got my license, and I felt like so grown up. No, actually,
mm.
before that, when I got national insurance, do you remember that? And you felt like a
Oh, right.
grown up.
Yeah.
You was like when you
The
got your national
card.
insurance card, you was like, I was like, wow,
Mm.
I'm a man now. I can't do
I feel
anything fucking
regal.
with it. It just means that I'm liable to pay fucking tax soon. So
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
it's just like that's all it means. But yeah, you feel like you've entered adulthood in them little moments like that.
Mhm.
But speaking of adulthood, like, um, how much of a support system did you have from your peers from school? Was you still bonding with them after school, or was it were you more close with your family kind of thing, or?
Um, I would say like peers from school and stuff. I still do chat to people from school. From time to time, we hang out. But I don't know. I've
Mm,
always been a bit of a floater. Like
yeah, yeah.
I lived in like Far Cotton like throughout my teenage years, but I went to road school. So Far
Okay.
Cotton was basically Mere Way, where all that was, and
Yeah.
then road covered like say from road to Grange Park and Wootton Way.
Yeah.
So like I've always floated around with different groups of
Mm,
friends from being close to town and then working at the market and meeting new
yeah.
people there from
Yeah.
different areas. So yeah, in the sense of um with
Do you
like
think
how do
that
I
kind of
reply?
molded your personality for the better kind of thing to be involved in different social groups? You get different perspectives from each, don't you? So do you think
Yeah.
that kind of aided in the kind of person you are now kind of thing, or do you think it hindered?
No, I don't think it hinders. I think the more experience you have, different experiences, then the better, regardless of whether it's people or locations.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I'd say, like if you were like growing around, say if you'd like had one group of friends from school, say the same five guys throughout that whole time, that's
Mm,
great to have that. Like, and
yeah.
some in some senses, I would still envy that of some people when I see that those same guys are all still hanging out
Yeah.
together. I'm like, that's
Yeah.
wicked.
Yeah.
Like, I'm
Yeah.
very much like I've met maybe thousands of people like in different
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
over the time and stuff. Like so like, especially through like going to do DJing and parties and stuff, then you do end up floating around from different people and hanging around with different crowds because maybe you're working with different people musically, or you're going to London often, like or
Mm,
wherever you're doing, or whatever you're going,
yeah.
wherever you're
Yeah.
going.
Yeah. No. Well, I think we grew up in the same generation where there was kind of a limited amount of social groups really, and you kind of had to, you was either one or you was the other, or you was the weirdo in between, and unfortunately we were the weirdos in between because we floated we did I did we didn't really have I didn't really grow up with let's just say music, for instance, a certain genre of music you listen to that kind of molded your childhood for a lot of people,
Yeah,
and it
it's
kind of
molded like
create.
social groups and that.
Yeah, yeah. Did you think did that ever, have an effect on you? Did you, because you was involved in the drum and bass scene in the later years and maybe the early years as well. But did
I
you
would say like
find that that's where your main social kind of circle kind of
Possibly,
stayed.
yeah. I would say it sounds like a silly thing, but starting smoking at a very young age, at the age of 13, probably opens you up into the realm of hanging around with like dodgy
Yeah.
geezers.
Yeah, yeah.
Because we're all
There's a
smoking
stigma with it,
underage and
wasn't it?
probably
Yeah.
a few other things that people shouldn't have. And I think that that kind of opened me into the whole like say can I say chav
Yeah, yeah, no,
like
no, you're
thing,
right.
like
Yeah,
even
yeah.
though I was
It was
never like a
towny back
I'm gonna
then, weren't it?
yeah towny and then it
Yeah,
yeah then changed into chav. Like
yeah.
I wouldn't say I was like I don't know, I never was like the I'm gonna rob your motorbike or your nan's house
No,
kind of
no.
chav,
You
like
you was
never.
a chav with
Like
morals.
yeah, ones that you could actually like maybe bring home to your parents and be
Yeah.
like, "Hey, this is my friend." Like,
Yeah, yeah.
not that dodgy one, like that will
No.
steal your nan's jewelry.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. No, fucking hell.
but
Yeah.
I would say that that definitely that kind of group of friends definitely molded into the drum and bass aspect because
Yeah.
there was a lot of people listening to tape packs when we were out in the parks and stuff.
Oh,
So
yeah, yeah.
I didn't know what any of this music was. I used to think that, say, a CD that said Andy C on it that
Mm.
was like recorded at a rave. I thought that Andy C made all the tunes. He was the guy on the microphone and everything.
Yeah,
Like that's
yeah,
what I
yeah. No,
thought.
well, you're not the only one, because you do you don't see what's behind the scenes until until you understand it a bit better, kind of thing, and the amount of people
Mm.
involved into stuff like that. But did you have much support from once you entered the music and not just music throughout education as well? Did you? How was the support from all your kind of relationships with your family at the time?
Yeah, my mum has always really supported us, especially through the music. She's always rooted for us in that respect. Like my I've always had support from my family to do with the music, definitely.
Hmm.
There was a time where I was living at home though, and my stepdad basically gave it, "You've got one more year to make this music shit kick off, or you got to get a real job."
Yeah, yeah. Did it?
That's pretty much the words of it. And I think like it wasn't shortly after that that I kind of moved out and all the rest of it.
Oh,
So
okay.
I
Yeah.
was about like 18, 19. So it was kind of like I'm happy I moved out at that age anyway, because
Yeah.
maybe I wouldn't have everything together now if I hadn't have moved out at that age.
No, yeah, of
Some people
course,
that move
yeah.
out when they're 30, they don't maybe they haven't got
They're
the
not
start
ready
that
for that
I have
kind of. Yeah, yeah.
with
I think
independency.
people now there's a lot more pressure to not move out now. People are staying at home for a longer period of time.
Mm.
Whereas we were kind of hungry for that independence. I moved out quite an early age as well, because
Yeah.
you think you do grow up and you don't want to you don't want to get grounded anymore or anything like that. Like and but and you hang around with a lot of older people as well, so you kind of look up to them and you think independence lies with or growing up and being an adult lies with you kind of looking after yourself kind of thing. But
Yeah.
you touched on about your mum. What was the support like and what was your relationship like with your dad then?
What, through the music
Because
or
obviously,
just
not
generally?
just the music, because obviously I can see that obviously he's gave you the kind of ultimatum there. Like
No,
it sounds
that was
like, did he have a?
that was my stepdad. Sorry, my
Oh,
dad.
okay,
Like
yeah.
he'd moved. My parents split up when I was 13, and then we moved to Far Cotton with my mum and my sister.
Hmm.
And it wasn't until a good few years after that my mum met someone new. But either way, like the relationship with my dad, like throughout that time, he was always rooting for us as well, but from a distance as such, right? Because obviously he was in Thailand.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
Okay,
yeah, they've had my side on that respect.
yeah.
But it's also known that it is a difficult industry to get in and crack.
Yeah, it is. And obviously you've had a go, but I wouldn't say. Would you say you've? Could you have made it if you wanted to? Obviously, I'm not saying that you haven't tried, but
Yeah, I know what you mean.
what's difference to the people that have got there to what you've done?
Um, uh, Self-discipline.
Mm?
Don't go out and party so much.
Yeah.
Like have like treat your music as a professionalism
As
as
a
well as,
business. Mm.
yeah, as well as that was my mistake. Like my mistake
Yeah.
was going out and taking the, like, you know what I mean, all the razzle
Yeah. The
dazzle
rock
that
and
comes
roll.
with the DJing, but without really putting in
Yeah.
loads of work behind the scene, because I
Mm.
was always partying. That was
Oh,
my
okay.
mistake.
Yeah.
And I'm not
So
saying
did
that I'm done now, because I'm not,
no.
because I will
Yeah.
be making music um in the future. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
I've got all the kit now, as well as I've that's the other thing about growing up, is that you kind of got a little bit of money here and there over
Yeah.
time to,
Yeah.
say I bought these a few years ago, and if you was younger and you needed money, you'd
Yeah.
sell them. And it's like,
Yeah.
I haven't
No, of
sold any of
course.
my equipment at all. Like,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it's all here ready for when I'm ready. Like,
Okay. Yeah. And it's interesting you say, obviously, um you've got the kind of financial investment that you can buy these equipments and stuff now, like but do you feel a burden for that though? Like, because now you've got that equipment, do you feel like you owe it to yourself to kind
yeah,
of like,
I do a bit.
yeah.
Like,
And
I mean,
also,
obviously,
so with like you said, I think there's a certain rock and roll. There's a naive opinion you have when you're getting involved with music, is that you do think it's a lot of partying, though. You do, like you see, um,
sex, drugs,
yeah,
rock and roll.
yeah, and you do see DJs and stuff. And but one thing that I noticed when I was as I got older is that you always see DJs and stuff, but they're drinking water. They're not like boozing or anything like that. They're drinking water. They're not on X or anything. Like, they're actually
Yeah,
clean. And they're the people that have made it. You know, they know that to suss it out, to try and, do it properly, you've got to be sober and you've got to have head on you and you've got to treat it like a business, you know.
yeah.
Um,
I would say that when I was making music, producing more music, and I was playing out a lot more, so when I was 24, 25,
mm,
like I made maybe 30 tunes in the matter of, like, I don't know, about 7 or 8 months, and they were like being played out and stuff, not by massive
yeah.
people, but being played out amongst all the local scenes and all the rest of it. But I would kind of being a bit off my head helped that, in that sense,
Okay.
because I was at
Yeah.
home a lot, like at that
Yeah.
time, like kind of making tunes, kind of staying awake and making sure it was right and all the rest of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And like now I've kind of like calmed away from like the whole like wide-eyed, like nutty professor kind of, not nutty
Yeah.
professor, like, you know what I mean, like kind of insane
To
scientist
be,
kind of
yeah. Yeah.
guy.
Yeah.
Then I've kind of lost a little bit of mojo when it comes to sitting down and really kind of trying to make something. I'll happily jump on a stream and do this
Okay.
instead.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. But like, what must be a little bit of pleasure for you is that when you're doing that live, you've got people sitting there listening to you, and almost like it's a live show, isn't it? It's a gig. It feels like a gig kind of thing. And I know there's no financial commitment to it, or any kind of monetary kind of gain from it, but for your own self pleasure, do you feel like when people are watching that you think this is worth it? Like, this feels good. Like, you've
yeah,
got an
like,
audience kind of thing.
yeah, like doing like when I was doing the Friday night streams regularly,
Yeah.
like, then say obviously this was before like the whole COVID, like before the COVID period. So streaming was
Mm,
quite big. Like, I mean, streaming is massive now, but it's
yeah.
so thin spread that
Yeah.
everybody only gets a few viewers, like
Yeah.
especially the
Yeah.
lower tier people. So going even like even going from, say, like logging on and getting 50 people watching on a Friday at 7 every
Yeah.
week, to
Yeah.
going on now and then maybe 12 or
Yeah.
5 or
Yeah.
7. Well,
Yeah.
then you notice that those people are there and they're the ones that are commenting throughout the whole video. So
Yeah.
you'll know that
Yeah.
they're fully active, and it is worth it if they're doing that,
Yeah.
rather
Of
than
course. Yeah.
the 10-second flick ins and flick outs. They're not
No,
worth
that's
it.
right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I think them 12 are worth the same as the 50,
Yeah, definitely.
or even
If they're
more,
active,
if
like, you know
they're,
what I mean?
yeah, yeah, if they're regulars and stuff. But what's the best compliment you've got through your music versus, and your personal life?
Oh, I can't. What tune was it? Somebody was like, "That sounds like it." Like, they basically they compared this tune that I really liked. I think I was playing it, and they were basically saying, "Is that your tune? That sounds like one of your tunes." And I was just
Yeah.
like thank you so much,
Yeah,
but no, it's
yeah.
not. Like, I mean, I love the fact that, like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, you've listened to my music and you thought that
And
this
you
could
know my
actually be
taste,
me.
and
Like,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
but off the top of my head, that was the only thing I could really think of when it comes to a massive compliment. There's
Yeah.
obviously people come up to you after you've like been DJing at a show or something, and you get like the hey, that was wicked, that was sick,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
and
yeah.
I'm very much like, instead of being like, um, so some people, there's a big line between being cocky and confident.
Yeah.
As where some people who would be like, yeah, that was sick, and people would be like, yeah, I know, fam, blah blah.
Yeah,
I'll be like,
yeah.
I'm more much like, I
You
had
got
a
more
great
humble
time
to
doing
it.
that.
Yeah,
Like, you know what
yeah.
I mean? I had a great time doing that. Then I know it went well. If I
Yeah.
had, you know what I mean? If I've come off a bit like, ooh, then it didn't go so
Yeah.
well. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's always like, if I've had a good time, then it did go well. So thank you for
Yeah.
the compliment. Like,
Yeah. What's have you ever received some harsh criticism then?
um, not that I can think of. Nothing that's
No,
made me
no.
like be like, right, I'm turning it off.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's fair.
No, no, not with music. No,
No.
like, I was streaming games at one point, and what did they commented? Basically, it was about my voice, telling me that I sound like a silver spoon. Fucking basically, like I sound like a little like a silver
A
spoon
prep
guy.
boy. Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
and I was
yeah.
just like, you what? And I kind of stopped driving, doing what I was doing. It's like, mate, like, who the fuck are you catching?
Yeah. Flick the fag out. Like, what you
I was like,
doing?
just because like, I pronounced my T's, bro. Like,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
there's
but
no
come
reflection. Like,
but coming away from the music, like what would you say you're most proud of about yourself? So away from the music, about you personally.
the most thing I'm proud of.
Hmm.
Um,
It could be from what you've achieved, or it could be, situations or circumstances you've been through where you've come out
see,
on top.
I would
Or,
say that, especially out of how the world is and how people are treating each other, I'm
hmm.
proud of the fact that I I give people, you know what I mean, the respect until, like, you know what I mean, it's
And
till
yeah,
they've broken your respect. Like, I mean, I've always give people a chance and a chat, and I'll always see things from other people's perspective. It's like having empathy as well as being straight up and honest with people.
yeah,
Like, that's one thing that I've kind of brewed into myself over the growing up,
mm,
over adulthood, because we're all little shits when we're around our teenage years.
yeah,
But like, as growing up, like, I've made sure that I don't, you know what I mean, you're not doing anybody wrong.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
you're
yeah,
not, you're not, you know what I mean, you're not like planning. You've got no agenda
yeah,
to
yeah.
who
There's
you're
no
hanging around
ulterior
with or
motive
why.
kind
Like,
of thing.
it's
Yeah,
that's one thing that I find that I'm proud of in myself, because I see it a lot. Like, the people that hang around with people of convenience, or
yeah, yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah. And there's a lot of enabling as well, isn't there? Like when it comes to kind of peers and acquaintances, should we say?
mhm.
But yeah, what kind of what has you been your biggest win then?
My biggest win, what, in life?
Yeah.
Um, Going on holiday solely by myself.
Oh
Like,
wow.
literally, like, I I had some money saved up, and I decided I wanted to go to Crete in Greece, but
Okay.
I was going to buy tickets, and then they announced it as a red area in COVID.
Yeah, yeah.
So I wasn't with anybody at the time. I'd just broken up with a girlfriend. It was quite an alcoholic, toxic relationship, shall I say?
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah,
One
it's
of
one of
them.
these drinking all the times, like, kind of
Yeah. Yeah.
relationships. But I just broke away from that, and I was like, right, obviously I need some me time. Like, so I
Yeah.
literally
Yeah.
booked a flight. I think it was two. I think no, it was 150 for the flight and then 250 for the hotel. I went to Rhodes Island in Greece, and literally I went there just by myself with some hand luggage. I had a gym bag full of like shorts and
Yeah.
t-shirts, and I took my passport and a wallet and my phone.
Was
And
that like an
literally, I went.
overnight thing? You just thought, right,
I think
next couple of days I'm gonna book something, just
I
go.
booked it on a Friday and went the next Friday.
Oh,
Like, but I think I was a bit drunk as well. Like, I
zero
was like,
prep.
yeah, I'm gonna book this.
Yeah,
So I was like, yeah, so
yeah,
I've got 400 quid at the minute. I can like
yeah.
spend. I was like,
You
and we
sobered
just
up
did
by the Thursday and thought, "Fuck, I've got to fucking go to
that.
Crete tomorrow." Oh, you
But
know.
no, I had a bit of money saved up at the time anyway, so
Yeah.
it was possible for me to just go and do that, which
Mm.
was nice. Like obviously, like being a single man, no kids and stuff, so
Yeah. Yeah.
there's a little bit of extra like scope there to do what you want to do when you
Yeah.
want to do
Yeah.
it. Like,
Yeah. Of course.
but I would say, yeah, going away by yourself, it feels liberating. Like I just
Yeah.
went and just rented a motorbike, and every day I looked on the map because it was the island would say this long and that wide. So I
Oh,
was about
okay.
top left of the island. So it only took 20 minutes to get to the other side on a motorbike,
Oh,
and then
yeah.
about an hour or so
Oh,
to get
fucking
to the
hell.
bottom. So I had a
Yeah.
whole week of just going
Yeah.
here and there
Yeah.
and everywhere on a motorbike over this
Oh,
island.
okay.
I was like,
Yeah.
this is great. Like,
So it was more
just
about self exploration, really. It wasn't really a boozy holiday or anything. It was just
oh
literally
no.
just for self reflection. Another
The
thing.
only time I ever really drank was when I got back to the hotel, like maybe 10 at night,
Oh, yeah.
and I'd met these. There was a few lads in the hotel, like there was a few lads and there was a few ladies, like these
Yeah.
these 45, 50-year-old scouse birds. They were on holiday,
Oh,
and
right.
then
Okay.
they'd met this 78-year-old lady called Dawn from Scotland, and they'd
Okay.
all hung out in a little crew, and then I'd met these lads, and I'd sometimes had a laugh with them,
Yeah.
and these lads basically they spent like the whole week in the hotel. When I was leaving in the mornings to go get on the bike, they were already in the pool drinking strawberry
Fucking hell.
daiquiris, like,
Oh,
and
my
that's all they
God.
did all week. They just went down to the
Yeah.
beach and come back to the
That's a
hotel. I was
typical
like, mate,
lad
like
holiday,
you're
that kind of
missing
thing. Yeah.
out. Like you
You're in
lads are
another
missing out. I'm
country.
out. I'm going out.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going
Yeah.
out by myself all day. I'll probably be back at about 10:30, 11. Like,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
then I got drunk when I got back to the hotel in like the courtyard and that with people.
Oh, yeah.
That
Yeah.
was
No,
about
but
that was about that.
that's a holiday, though. Like,
Yeah.
because I think we miss the reasons why we go abroad sometimes. We go abroad.
Mm.
I find if I ever go abroad, it's about exploring culture and different
Yeah.
landscapes kind of thing. Because I always find it fascinating. My thing I'm always in awe with when I go on holiday is seeing a mountain. Because we're so used to
Yeah.
it, but it's crazy. We're so used to flat land, aren't we? Like, seeing a different kind of landscape kind of is eye opening, and seeing different kinds of environments, I find.
Hmm.
And that's quite breathtaking sometimes. And it's the smallest things, them little places you go to. You ain't got to go to fucking Central Africa or anywhere, but going to Italy for me is one where you're
Yeah.
experiencing great food, great surroundings, and the atmosphere is just it's just amazing. So, and
Yeah.
it's a lot
Like the
more
culture, like you're
cozy.
saying.
Like
Yeah.
it's a lot of people go Zante, Ibiza, and fucking all these party places. Not that we sound like old moaning gits, but I do think you get that out of the way when you're younger. But when you're
Yeah.
older, I find I'm a lot more just want to experience different cultures and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah. I agree with that totally. I like I don't know. In my head, Ibiza is probably the last place I want to
Yeah,
go.
it generally
Like,
Ibiza is Bridge Street. There you go. Like that's what
and
that is.
that'll probably come down to the fact of being and gone to so many parties over the time that I don't
Yeah,
get that feeling of party day or big club day.
yeah,
It's like
yeah,
they've lost that now. Like really, like and going to say different places like say Greece or Thailand or something like that, you're experiencing
yeah.
different food, you're chatting to different people, you're finding out what they do for work, how much they get paid
Mm.
over there,
So,
and all the
would you
rest of it. Like
recommend going on holiday for people that do want a little bit of space and they've got a little bit of money? Would you
yeah,
recommend going
literally.
by yourself and
Definitely. Like I think everyone needs to do it just once, like at
yeah,
least, because when you go away, like generally you are with people. So
yeah, yeah,
there's always that compromise of
yeah.
who wants to do what,
Oh, of course.
when they want to do it. Say, say if you go away in a big group of lads, then everyone could like
Yeah,
be
you're kind of
undecided what they're
restricted,
doing.
aren't you?
Three of them go
Yeah,
and do this, two of them go and
yeah,
do that, one of them
yeah.
do this.
There's
As where
yeah.
like it was literally like I woke up and I was like, okay, so I went on the old TripAdvisor, had a little look, see
Okay,
what I
yeah,
wanted to do that day, or went onto
yeah.
Google Maps, picked a town that I was going to go to,
Did you look
and
like
then
a right tourist? Did you? I bet you going
probably
around with a
like
map, like. But yeah, that's the
I didn't
exciting thing.
have the
I think
map,
it's
like
I think it's the freedom, though, isn't it? You got freedom,
yeah,
and
definitely. I'm
yeah, you
trying to
left to your
find
own
something.
devices.
Like I did actually, when I come back from Greece, I did actually write a big list. I had a whole list of stuff that I actually um, did while I was over there,
Oh yeah,
and I'm going to try and quickly find it whilst we're chatting.
yeah, yeah,
But it's on my, and it was just, it was quite a list, you know. Like I managed to
yeah.
get a lot of things in there by um by the week,
In a
by
week,
the time that
yeah,
the week was
yeah.
done. Yeah.
Fair enough. Like I went on holiday. I wouldn't say by myself. I spent a day by myself before a couple of friends came
Uh
over.
huh.
But I went. I was only 17, and I went Magaluf. But that was
Mhm.
my first ever holiday away from. I only ever been on holiday once before that. And that was with
Yeah.
family. So I felt, the
Mhm.
freedom I felt being 17. But I can't imagine like I'd love to go on holiday by myself. Not like I tell you what's strange is that I felt it. The way I felt like that again was I had to
Mhm.
work down in Swindon last year, for throughout like November and December. So I was in a hotel by myself, working
Yeah.
down there solo, and it felt a bit like that. Like I felt
Mhm.
kind of free, and I got to just roam around, do whatever I wanted. Not necessarily do whatever I wanted, is in being reckless, but
I know, or
um,
or illegal. It's not. That's not
yeah,
what you mean.
yeah,
You just do
no,
what you
no,
want.
yeah, yeah.
I have found this list.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead.
So basically, it was 20th of October, 2020, and it was like to sum up my holiday. I made an actual list of memorable moments, and it was I went on a boat trip. I visited a different island. Swam in the sea. I climbed a mountain, like went rock climbing.
Mhm.
I learned a few common Greek phrases. Please don't test
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
Did,
You can't just
sap-
say that and not give
oh
us.
no, sasef chilisto is thank you. Thank you very much.
That's a long
Um,
word for just thanks, isn't it?
I think it's thank you very much.
Oh,
I
okay. Yeah.
visited like ancient stadiums and
Oh, yeah.
the
Yeah, there's a lot of
like
history in Greece, isn't
big
there? So,
rings.
yeah.
Yeah, I found anti-aircraft guns randomly on a mountain
What?
from a war that they had with the Turks years ago.
Oh,
Like,
shit.
I took some pictures and I showed somebody, and they were like, "Yes, that's from the Turkish war years ago." I was like, "Oh,
It's
okay,
just sitting
fine."
there.
Just facing out to the sea, like,
Oh, my God. Fucking hell.
like. I visited three acropolises in three different towns. Uh, I rented a jet ski, I rented a motorbike, went rock climbing, rappelled down a cliff. I drank from a glass boot. I saved a kitten from certain death. There was like I was out on my motorbike travels and I found there was I just heard like kind of stopped anyway because I was a bit lost and I just heard meowing like a kitten meowing like
Yeah.
so I kind of like looked around and I was like wait there is like this main road going through this town like we're talking like 60-mile-an-hour road
Yeah.
and there was just this kitten on the little lines in the middle of the road. And
Oh,
I
my
was like, I
God.
just like pretty much like just stopped the fucking traffic. It's like, you're not
Yeah.
running this over. Picked up this little kitten and tried to find the mother because I heard meows, but I couldn't.
Yeah.
I found a lot like this Greek couple that were sat down in their garden. Massive language barrier there. We did not understand each other at all. But I was just like, kitten, and they were like, she was like, what was she? I don't know what she said. But
Yeah.
then the
Yeah.
husband kind of looked at the kitten and then looked at the chair down there and was like, meh.
Oh, my
Put her
God.
down there. So I put her there, and there was like a little, there was a little like water bowl there and stuff. So
I
yeah, I
think
saved
by
the kitten from
default
certain
you are
death.
now the kitten's mother. So you should have took that home. Found a way.
Yeah, so obviously there was loads of stray cats in Greece. Like there
Oh
was
yeah.
loads, but cats do what they want anyway. So I don't really
They're
feel
in.
too bad about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Like what is it? I helped a lady. I helped a lady change her tire randomly.
Okay, no.
I was biking to another town on another day, and this lady, I went past her and I was like, "Are you okay?" And she was like, "No." So I just turned around and was like, "What's the problem?" She was like, "I need to change this tire." So I helped her change a tire, and I've never done it before because I didn't have my license at the time. So
Yeah.
yeah, there was me using this jack,
That's
and she was
crazy.
like help propping up the car, and I helped her change her tire. I got a picture with her as well, which is I can see it now. She had a little Cinquecento on the side of the road, right?
Oh, wow. That's
And
crazy.
there, then I got chased by a guard dog when I went to the wrong place going to rock climbing. I got off the bike and everything, and this fucking massive Rottweiler come running out of this hotel looking like thing, just chasing me round circles round my bike until
Oh my God.
this kid half my size came out and was like, "Oi, get it!" And the dog just come running over, and I was like, "Well, I feel demasculated right now."
Okay.
Yeah, and obviously I bought a bunch of souvenirs. Dawn, the lady that we met at the hotel drinking with the Scouse birds, I took her on the back of the motorbike and we went on a submarine one day.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I took her on. Yeah, I took her on the submarine, like because I had it booked anyway, and
Oh, okay.
I was mentioning it in the evenings, and they
Yeah.
saw her eyes light up. So I just got her a ticket online quickly and was like,
Oh.
right, I'll give you a helmet. I'll go no more than 30.
Oh,
Right.
wow. That's so
And yeah,
kind.
we went
Like
out on
that's.
like a bit of a lunch date, like with
Oh
like the
wow.
70-year-old woman.
That's that's quite not a bonding moment, but with a stranger. Sometimes it's quite like I don't know. It's a nice sentiment that.
Mm. And I think when you're saying if there's anything that you've like kind of learned or proud about yourself, is like
Mm.
when I look at that list, 3 times I've helped somebody
Yeah,
randomly,
like that's
whether
all
it's a
I've been
cat or a
hearing. Like,
woman.
yeah, yeah.
Like,
But
so
you are
that's one
you,
thing that I will do out of nature is if somebody's in
yeah.
help, then I will just naturally just drop
It
my shit
says as
and be
much
like,
about you.
yo.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. That's crazy. Like, and that just explains you in a nutshell, kind of thing. You know, you've gone to this foreign country and you still you are hands on with people that need help, kind of thing. You know,
mm,
and it's unfortunate, but not a lot can be said about the rest of the world. You know, we'd like to believe that we all can help, but you obviously put that in action, and
hmm.
these people are benefiting from that, especially the cat. So I'm just a bit ashamed that he didn't take it home. Like, but
Yeah,
but you
I
know,
mean, there
he's
was, I
still
think,
sitting on that chair waiting for you now. Jesus. But um, before we get, I feel like we have. There's so much more I want to touch on.
I feel like, oh, what, are
Because
we coming to the end?
yeah, so we base it around 45 minutes to 50 minutes, but I feel
That's
like,
down.
you know, I feel like I still got a lot more to ask you, and I'll just
Okay.
get through some of them now. Just
But we can
stuff that,
obviously save it for future if you want.
yeah, of course. Like I'd love to get you in for a part two. I
Hmm.
think it would be great. I tell you what,
Yeah.
yeah, we could definitely do that. Like I've got a good insight into it's mainly about your music and your experiences now. So I want to touch a bit more on your childhood and
Yeah.
you know explore that a bit more. So let's look into getting a part two done of this, man. I've really enjoyed
Yeah,
it. It's
definitely.
really good. It's quite
I'm up for that.
inspiring. So and even now, me as a 30 odd year old, I'm like, oh, I feel like now I want to book a holiday and go and help some Greek people. Like,
Yeah. I tell you what, and
but
the food's really cheap as well. Like, if you like
oh yeah,
kebabs, then it's like
yeah.
every variation of every kebab that's done in a cuisine way. Like,
Yeah, yeah. Is it all like is it gyros or gyros? Oh, I don't know.
gyros, yeah,
It's
it's
gyros.
basically
Yeah,
like a mixed shish kebab with
yeah.
like chips inside of a pita and tzatziki sauce.
Oh, that tzatziki sauce. I can't even look at that. Like,
It's so good, isn't
sorry,
it?
I'm not to offend any Greeks, but
Oh, do you not like it?
no, no, it just tastes
Oh,
like
I thought you were
water.
like, oh, I can't look at
But
it because I was
no,
going to eat it all.
no, you
Well, so
can't
you don't like
stand the sauce.
cucumbers then?
No, because it's just solid water. That's what
I
it
know.
is. Like,
I actually take cucumbers out of say sandwiches because I'm like, wow, that's way too
yeah,
crunchy
it
to be
just
in there.
yeah, it is. But it's not. But it's just confuses your palate because it's crunchy, but then it's soft. It's like
Yeah, it's like
decide what you want
wet
to
but
be.
hard. Like
Yeah, and it's just no, I'm okay. I don't like that consistency, but okay. Yeah, like Jake, this has been amazing.
yeah,
I'd obviously
had a
want to
nice
get you
chat.
in to do a bit more. I feel like we're only just touching the surface on this,
Yeah,
and
I
I
mean,
feel
I can
like
talk for England anyway. Like,
well, yeah, no, but that's what I like. That's what I like. So, let's schedule another time, and just get
hmm
talking a bit more in depth. And I'm sure people would love to hear the rest of the stories. So, thank you, obviously, for coming on and spending your time
no,
here with me.
thank you for asking me to come on.
Yeah,
It's been nice to reflect on myself a little bit through your questions and have a little
yeah,
think.
yeah,
How do I feel about that? Actually,
yeah.
like,
No, well, that's good.
like
That's
it's
good.
nice to
So,
have that.
I'm prepping you for the more serious ones that are gonna come. Like I'm gonna make you cry. No, I was joking. No,
You
but
don't want
yeah,
that.
no. But to everyone else at home as well, thank you very much for coming along. The episodes now will be going live. They are live on YouTube, but also the post production ones are going to be posted up there. So every previous episode will be up on our YouTube channel. You can find the links in our link tree and also in the description. Thank you very much for coming along. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and I'll catch you next week for the next Sunday conversation. Peace.